Warp 9? I told you I don't like to go above warp 8. Oh, I haven't got enough power anyway. I don't even know if we'll get on the air today.
Well, good morning. How are you?
Good morning.
How are you?
We did get enough power to get on the air, didn't we,
Oh, it
Susan?
looks that way. I'm hoping so.
How are your shoulder pads?
We were just talking about that, actually. I like shoulder pads because the bigger the shoulder pads, the smaller your waist looks.
Is that it?
Didn't you notice that?
No, but I'll tell
And
you.
the bit smaller your waist looks, of course, so the bigger your thighs look. That's the other side of the problem.
As a
I'm working
downside
on
to
that one.
I don't know how football players do it, though, keeping these things
It's a
in
Doug
shape.
Flutie look.
Is
right?
that it?
Doug Flutie look.
Oh, Doug Flutie look. Boy, I'll tell you. Guess who beamed into Boston? Are you ready for this? James Doohan. Does that mean anything to you? Well, I'll tell you, I know what does mean something to you. All of you Star Trek fans, you Trekkies. Then,
Let's see this. I can't. Amazing. How do they do it?
Scotty, here you are.
Oh, I tell you, every time I get beamed up or down, it doesn't make any difference. It tickles so much,
The
So
wavy,
anyway,
the
it's a good way
wavy
to-
part of it.
Yeah, the wavy. Yeah, ever have those waves going over your body like that, It's quite thrilling.
Welcome to the show, Jimmy.
Thank you very
Yeah.
much, dear.
It was fun watching those little excerpts of the show. I mean, Star Trek always is just a fun show. Everybody has great memories of it. I mean, and it's
Oh,
a
it's
terrific...
true. All over the world, too.
Really?
I mean, 2 years ago, I don't know, 2 years ago, it was translated into Portuguese.
No kidding.
And I met a man in the elevator in Tulsa, and he said on the way, he said, we get you in Brazil. And I said, well, that's strange. I said, I don't have any fan mail from Brazil yet, and 2 days later, I'm home, first fan letter.
From Brazil.
Came from Brazil.
How do they do Scotty's Scottish accent in
I tell you, I don't know.
Portuguese?
Yeah, but I have in Japanese, I have the audio, anyway, of the whole of the Trouble with Tribbles, and I can't understand a word they're saying.
Is that
You
correct?
do so many accents, don't
That's
you?
true. I've been blessed with a good ear.
Do a little Irish.
Oh, it's a fine thing now, darling. And of course, I'm practicing up for St. Patrick's Day.
Oh, good.
And I'm going to be in Seattle then, so that's not too bad. There's a lot of Irishmen up there,
There are in
Oh,
Seattle?
It's true.
I didn't know that.
That's true, I was telling a lady on the, my Aunt Mary was a famous person for repeating what she said. I say repeating what she said, and it was fabulous I wasn't an actor then, to hear her repeat these things, and it was just gorgeous. And I was doing a script. This was during live television days, like we are today.
Yes, we are.
And I was doing this character, and he was so dull. He was a priest, and he's very dull because it wasn't written into the script, So I said, well, how can we excite him up? So I excited him up by repeating everything I said. I repeated everything I said,
That's great. How did you get into acting? Jimmy, did you?
He pushed me into it. I was 25 and a half when at the end of the war. I was going back to school. I had never any desire to ever be in the acting business. I swear, I heard a radio drama, and I said to myself, I said, I can do better than that.
I say I can do better.
4 days later, I was in a drama school in Toronto. 6 months later, I had won the top scholarship, which was 2 years at the Neighborhood Playhouse in New York City.
Oh, boy.
And when I finished there, the 2 years, they asked me to stay on and teach, which I did for nearly 3 years. I didn't like teaching, though.
Sidney Poitier was on Good Morning America this morning, and he said people are born actors.
I
Do
think
you-
I
do you
must have been.
agree?
Yeah, I think so.
39 years you've been doing this now, you said.
39, yeah. Now, I've just been mulling over what am I going to do for my 40th anniversary.
What do you think you'll do?
I don't know.
Go to Seattle for
Good
St.
day.
Patrick's
Oh,
Day.
well, yeah, go to Seattle. I don't want to say what I'm going to do or what, but I'm planning it, and I'm darn sure that an awful lot of people will go along with it.
Did you-
Because I expect about 3,000 people there.
Wow.
You won't even give us a clue?
No.
All right. Well,
Tell us a
wait.
little bit about how you got involved with Star Trek. How did that all happen?
I tell you, I didn't know anything about Star Trek at all. About 2 weeks before, I was to read for a part of a Scotland Yard inspector, and I gave them a Cockney, and instead of a very pucker chap, And then I didn't get the job. 10 days later, the director of that called me up and said, I'd like you to come and do some of your accents for these Star Trek people. I said, who are they? So he told me, he said, I'm directing it, the second pilot. So I went down there and they handed me 1 page of the script, so I proceeded to do 6 or 7 different accents. And they said, which one do you like? So I said, well, the Scottish. You know, I said, I've never done a Scottish accent before except once on Hazel. You know, and but in all of like 4,000 radio shows, I never did a Scottish accent, and I love it because of the role and the you can do 3.5
You would have been
octaves.
You would have been a great father in Brigadoon.
Oh, listen,
Oh,
I love
you
it.
would
I
have.
love it. Yeah.
Did you ever think, now you've gone to production for Star Trek 4, did you ever assume it would become an annuity?
Oh no, I don't think anybody would ever think that. All we knew is that we had great scripts. You know, we'd look up, we'd be finished the 2 or 3 of them, and then we're looking at ahead, and we'd say, wow, here's another one, here's another good one.
But you know what? It doesn't always go right, even with a good script, right?
True.
And what Jimmy did was he brought us a terrific outtake reel, and these are always such fun to see. Why don't we take a look at some of the things that didn't go quite the way they were supposed to in Star Trek?
Very good.
Let them pass.
Enterprise calling Starbase 6. Come in, Starbase 6.
Starbase 6, here.
Hiya, sugar.
Bob, don't cut.
Don't cut.
Bob Jesper, I'm going home now. I'm going to spend 3 hours on the makeup table putting this makeup back on. And it's your fault. Would you like to do it again? Now hold your position. We're locked onto your coordinates. We are prepared to beam you aboard.
Captain, you forgot all about the environment and all that stuff. Do you want to really do that? Save it.
That's great stuff.
You know, such great actors, William Shatner, Leonard Nimoy, articulate men. Your character, Chief Engineer Montgomery Scott. Montgomery was your grandfather's name on your mother's side, right?
My grandfather's name was Captain James Montgomery. He was a sailing man, and
Quite a reputation we hear.
yeah, he had a reputation. My mother was the 10th child by the second wife, and when she was conceived, he was 72 years of age.
And had, you said
And then-
before,
and then
25 children?
2 more after that, and the first wife, he had 13 children. So that's 25 children altogether.
And how many children do you have, Jimmy?
6.
6.
Yeah, I'm a-
And you have longevity on your side.
Well, it's true. That
And
is
that's
true. Yeah,
terrific.
yeah.
Jimmy and his wife run an energy consulting conservation company in
True.
in California.
We're getting it off the ground. Yeah.
So you care about a lot of things. You're at beach.
Then I do with the question and answer period, and
Is this
that
open to
goes
the
on for
public?
an hour and a half, or whatever, you know.
Can
And then-
anybody go?
Sure.
Anyone?
Absolutely.
God bless you. God bless you.
I
So
tell you
now
what.
save that.
I get excited. When I get excited, I sneeze, and I'm obviously excited.
It must be a lot of fun.
That's great.
Thank
Kleenex
you,
not
Jimmy
necessary, thanks.
Doohan, for being here. You are terrific.
It's a great pleasure.
Really,
Eileen.
You
thanks,
really
Susan.
are.
Thanks.
You just
lovely.
got Susan's
fan.
germs on you.
Thank you.
That's right.
Thanks for being here.